On this episode of BTV, we talk about the lack of pairs in the district and how it's impacting students. Miss Jamis gets thousands of dollars for new camera equipment, and a look at the little baby Buffs cheer clinic. All of this and more on this episode of BTV. On this episode of BTV, we talk about overpopulation in the building and the issues it's causing, why we can't use the football field again, and goats! All of this and more on this episode of BTV. Welcome back to the first episode of the school year. I'm your anchor, Noah Bierig. New year means new people in the school, but we might have too many. If you think you've seen this story before, it's because you probably have. Overpopulation is still one of the biggest problems here. If you haven't heard, the Board of Education just approved an attendance boundary change. Reporter Christy Dung tells us how it affects Southeast students. Asian Cultural Club held a Lunar New Year food sale during lunch on January 20th. They sold a variety of Asian items, including egg rolls, rice balls, spring rolls, spam musubi, lo mein, fried rice, and more. Happy Year of the Rabbit. Or the cat. Whichever. Now we go to William Sandlin with the sports. Thanks, Miguel. On this segment of Have You Heard, Ethan asks what your New Year's resolution is. Welcome back, Buffs, to this episode of BTV. I'm your anchor, Noah Bierig. If you haven't heard, there might be some new changes to how we vote for our Board of Education representatives. Reporter Christy Dung has more. Welcome back to this episode of BTV. I'm your anchor, Noah Bierig. Most labs and science classes offer fun experiences to learn science. Not as many people may be able to participate just because of how many students there are. Reporter Peyton Simons has more. Ronald Bogat, a Southeast graduate, is funding a scholarship for the class of 2026. This is for a student who won't be able to financially afford college. Beside having a 3.0 GPA and being in good standings, what are some other requirements? The district recently held their annual showcase at Century 2 for students and parents to explore the different educational options that are offered. Reporter Miguel Camacho was there. Chuck Schmidt came to Southeast to talk to government students about campaigning and how the state government works. Schmidt was running for Kansas House of Representatives to represent District 88. He believes students should get involved with politics since it's their future. Mr. Harris and the debate team hosted the Kansas Debate Classic here on January 6th and 7th. Reporter Annalise Wynn takes us behind the scenes. Over the summer, we sometimes forget how school works, especially after the pandemic. The administration wants to reinforce some of the rules here at Southeast. Reporter Peyton Simons has more. Well, Buffs, that's all for this episode. We'll leave you with some sights and sounds from our first assembly of the school year. See you next time on BTV.